Okay. Now I'll take the 1020 Dresden liner. I'm going to go between this still and the lashes a little bit and bring that out. I want to do that down here a little bit. Okay, now I think we're going to be done with that eye, or for the most part. We'll probably come back to it in a little bit. Okay, now let's do the nose. Take a number 4 curved flat. Get it wet. And I want to take a little bit of the granite and side load it. I like a wet palette because it keeps my paint from drying out. And we're going to side load down along this nose. And then inside, here is kind of dark. This is rounded up. Reload if your brush starts to drag. I want to come in a little bit. All this is darkening it up with graphite. Take a little bit more graphite and fill in his mouth just a little bit more. Kind of got a spot here where the paint had picked up, so I'm just going to kind of dab that in there just a little bit, see if we can't cover that up a little bit. I'm going to side load a little bit more of the graphite. And I'm going to just kind of bring this down, just walk it down a little bit. Same thing over here. I'm just going to kind of walk it down a little more. A lot of this is just layers of washes. Yep, sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to let that dry just for a little bit. My video camera does not have a pause, so every once in a while I got to stop and take a picture so that for the written instructions. So don't mind me. I hate to stop the video every time I need to snap a picture for you to have about a zillion little videos going. Okay. Now I'm going to start adding a little bit of warm white. Start bringing out his color. This is kind of a, oh, I don't know, grayish, silverish horse. And I'm going to use a yep, I am. I really am. I'm going to use a 1/4 Princeton Select Filbert Grainer. I'm going to soak this brush for a little bit in the water. And then to load this brush, I'm going to go with this white and I'm going to thin it down with water. I'm going to tap out my brush on a paper towel. Pull out a little more paint. I want to be able to make little streaks like that. And we're going to start with the nose. I'm going to start at this area and I'm just going to lightly tap. Sometimes it takes several tries to get this thing loaded right. Paint's got to be thin enough to flow off the brush. And sometimes some of my brushes just don't want to cooperate with me. And if that's the case, like this one, I'm going to pull out another brush. I have lots of brushes. This one, the paint's peeling off. Okay. It doesn't seem to be doing much better. There we go, maybe. Now his fur is going to be coming downwards towards his nose and off to the side. This is pretty watered down, so we'll probably end up putting several layers. You can see I go over the same area several times. Each time you go over the same spot or areas, you're building up the layers. Now he's kind of dappley looking, so there's going to be some areas that are darker, shadowed, brighter. As you can see, I'm turning my thing as I'm going along. I'm turning the table to pull the fur in the same direction that it grows. I guess horses have hair. That's probably why they call it horse hair. And as you get closer down to the nose, it starts getting a little more smoother. So I'm just kind of blending it more together. Like I said, this white is just really, really thinned down, so it's more like a wash going over everything. I use the very edges sometimes just to pull up lighter areas. And I'll go over this several times. Okay. I need to take another picture. We're going to continue on. Going to start adding up in here. don't worry if you get onto the bridle or whatever. We'll be coming back and straightening all that out pretty soon. We're just doing little taps. Usually this about the center of his face, so this part's going to be going this direction. And then the other half will be going the other direction. Not straight out, but down and out. When you get towards the middle, his hair is going to start going this. It kind of goes in a circle. Part of it will be coming down, and then start going up. Since this is his eye, the hair's kind of going in a curve, rounded. Just lots of tapping. Layering over one another. The paint is really thin. And this is just the first layer. We have this area back here. Also, that is jaw. And you can put this down just a little thicker because it's mainly white, or pretty light back here. The more layers you add, the brighter. So I'm using just the edge of my brush, the very tips.